Hey guys, so I've been wanting to make a video for a little while here, just to tell my story and to get it out there and to help myself heal. The more I talk about it, the easier it gets. So I was gonna wait till after the end of this month, beginning of next month. I'm doing a bodybuilding competition, bikini, Muscle Beach 2015. I'm super excited. Of course, my family and my friends know because it's all I've been obsessing about for the last 7 months. But since today is World Suicide Prevention Day, I felt like it would be appropriate for me to make this video today. And of course, I'm wearing yellow to support suicide prevention. It's my Minion shirt, so it's adorable. If you don't like Minions, that's okay too. So when I was 13, I was sexually assaulted, and it's something that I've held on to for a really long time, and I didn't recognize how much it hurt me. And he was much older than I am, or I was. He was an adult. He knew what he was doing. He took advantage of me. He said he loved me. He said he was my boyfriend. He made me feel loved. And I grew up in a really stressful household. There was a lot of verbal abuse. There was a lot of physical abuse. I used to hide. I never felt safe. And this individual saw that and took advantage of my innocence. And I felt like he loved me, and it was an equal relationship, I guess. It was my first real relationship. It was my first kiss. So I didn't question it. And when it was over and when he broke my heart and told me that he could never see me again, I just wrote it off as my first love. And he definitely pushed it way further than I was comfortable. And he molested me. And it took me a really long time to recognize that it wasn't an okay thing that happened to me. I lost my virginity when I was 20 to a boyfriend, and it was rape. And that was also really hard to recognize. I didn't go to the police until I was 26, which is 13 years after the initial assault. So anybody that says that, oh, why wouldn't you go to the police earlier? Why wouldn't you? That's bullshit. And bullcrap. Sometimes it takes that long to recognize how much you've been hurt. And I was really depressed for a really long time. And I would be jealous of people that would pass away because I was hurting. I didn't care if I lived or died. I just hurt for so long about so many different things. And I hated myself. I hated when people would tell me I'm pretty. I hated when people tell me I'm ugly. I hated when people looked at me in a sexual way. I didn't know. I gained weight really easily because I would binge eat. I wouldn't eat all day because I was trying to lose weight. So I would go days without eating. And I was so proud of myself in the peak of my anorexia because I had managed to figure out a system to not eat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, eat a little bit Thursday so I wouldn't pass out, not eat Friday or Saturday so that I look good for the weekend, and then eat a huge meal on Sunday. And this went on for months in 2009, and I dropped from, I would say, 145 pounds to 118 pounds within 2 months. And I was so sick. I would go to the gym for hours. I would walk home, walk to work, which was about 5 kilometers each way, even in winter. And winters in Edmonton are really cold. But I felt like I finally had some degree of control in a world that was always out of control. I hated being a kid because I hated being at the mercy of what adults wanted. And once I was an adult, I wasn't really prepared. I still just hated life, and, you know, I trusted people. I moved out as soon as I could. I was 18 years old, and I tried making friends. I was always a really genuine person, so when people said they wanted to be my friend, that was awesome. I was hurt a lot trusting different relationships, and I would date people that just weren't positive, and so I shut myself out. I closed myself off to anyone, really. I wanted to be myself, but I didn't even really know who I was. I just knew I wasn't mean, and so I never wanted to hurt anyone else. And so, you know, my family had a lot of issues, and so I didn't ask for help because I didn't want to burden them. I didn't want anybody to know I wasn't okay, so I just held it inside, smiled, and lived my life, got a decent job, took care of myself, took care of my bills. I never needed anybody. I was extremely independent, and I still am that way. But it was really hard for me to trust people and to open up and to say that I'm not okay. And that's okay. I got married in May of 2013 to the most amazing person ever. He's my best friend. And when we first got married, you know, things were really good. He was really awesome, and I really trusted him, and it was wonderful. But then we started arguing a lot, and he would never argue back with me. It was just me being angry. You know, we never name called, we never put each other down, because I grew up in a household like that, and I hated it. And I don't believe in name calling and then having to take back what you said. You can never take back the words that you say. If you say something to someone, you can apologize for it later, and you should apologize for it later, obviously, but those words still hurt, and I don't ever want that to be part of my family, or part of my marriage, or part of my friendships. So I just say what I mean, and I don't like that. I don't like name calling. Why call somebody a mean name? You can't take it back later, especially on the internet. Don't be mean to people. There's no point. You don't know them. They don't know you. So why would you be mean? Just be kind. I think that's the biggest thing we can do, is just be kind. You don't know what the other person is going through. You don't know their hurt or their struggle or what they've been through. You might assume things about them, but you don't know. And maybe they're just having a crappy day. And what makes a crappy day worse? Mean people. What makes a crappy day better? When somebody's nice to you. So be nice to other people, and people will be nice to you, I promise. And I guess at the end of the day, why I wanted to make this video is we were arguing a lot, and I finally recognized the source of why I was so unhappy. And it really was because I was sexually assaulted, and I never dealt with it in the proper way. I never asked for help. I never got proper therapy. I couldn't talk to my family. And the communication in my marriage broke down, and we couldn't talk to each other. So things were really hard. You know, I finally went to the police because my husband was really supportive. He's always been extremely supportive. I told him what happened, and I told him that I need help, and he was completely there for me the whole way. And so I went to the police. I filed a police report. I have a video log of my, you know, statement, my victim impact statement. It's out there. It can never go away. And, you know, the police asked me, why now? Why 13 years later did you decide to come to the police? And I said, I would never regret telling the truth. And I need to let go of this thing that is hurting me, because it's not my fault. And for the first time, I started believing that. And if somebody's hurt you, it's not your fault. If you've been the victim of domestic abuse, domestic violence, if you've been picked on, bullied, cyberbullied, if you've been sexually assaulted, sexually harassed, if you've been hurt in any way, it's not your fault. The world is full of unkind people, and it doesn't need, you know, internet trolls making it worse for everyone. What it needs more is for the average person just to be kind. And at the beginning of this year, you know, I had my statement out there that can never go away, so if my case ever goes to trial, this individual doesn't live in Canada, but if they ever cross the border, he'll be arrested and I'll be forced to testify in court. Which is always in the back of my mind, and it hurts. I've been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, and it's really hard to live with. But I try my best to put on a smile each day and live, and I'm trying to let go. And that's why I wanted to make this video and admit to the world that at the beginning of this year, I tried to kill myself. I was done. I didn't want to be here anymore. It hurt. It still hurts. I felt like I was hurting my husband because I was so grumpy all the time. I saw him stop being happy, and I blamed myself. He is so wonderful, and I saw the light die from his eyes, and I didn't want to hurt him anymore. So I had it planned out. And I went to my spot, and I stood there for a long time, debating if I should jump or not. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't. And I felt like I failed. I even sucked at suicide. I went home. I still couldn't talk to anyone. You know, I've seen therapists and counselors, but I couldn't talk to the one person that I needed to talk to, which was my husband, because I didn't think I was worth it. Not that he ever made me feel bad, but I just couldn't let go. And so I decided I couldn't live the way I was going. I couldn't keep living the way I was going. So I have some friends that have competed in bodybuilding competitions, and I decided, you know what? Why not me? I can do that. I have never had a positive experience with food. I need to learn how to eat properly if I'm going to continue living this life and potentially have children in the future. I don't want to give them my unhealthy habits and pass that down. I want to know how to eat properly for myself so I can feed my children and so that they can be happy and healthy. And so I hired a prep coach. Her name's Asha, and she is magically wonderful. And the first time I met her, I didn't know what to think. I didn't know if she would judge me and say, oh, you're way too far gone. You're never going to be a bikini competitor. Like, that's unrealistic. We'll help you lose a little weight, but you can never look like that. And she didn't. She just said, oh, okay, that sounds awesome, and made me my meal plans and made me my workouts and encouraged me every single week and still does. And she's awesome. And I can't thank her enough, because over this journey in the last 7 months, I went from 36% body fat to 22. I have gained so much self-confidence and self-esteem. I have muscles. Those are wonderful, because I finally feel like my inward person, the inner strong woman that I've always had to be, is finally being reflected on my body. And it's really empowering to, curl heavier than the guy next to you. It's really fun. Super fun. Highly recommend it. So yeah, I competing in my first bikini competition in 1 month at Muscle Beach, and I'm really excited. My husband has been wonderful. He opened up to me in about March of this year, and he struggled with depression himself, and he admitted to me that he had his own suicide planned out. And, we talked about the D word, which I hate, and then we put it all out there. We laid it on the table. And it was just so silly that we're both thinking the world would be better off without us, not realizing that the two of us can just stick together and it doesn't matter the rest of the world. As long as we have each other, what else matters? And we both decided to live. And that's okay. And it's okay to think about suicide. It's okay to have those thoughts. As long as, if you have those thoughts, talk to someone you trust, talk to someone you love. They're not going to think less of you. I'm not going to think less of you. No one is. The strongest people are the ones that ask for help, and we're stronger together. And if we can all just be a little more kind and a little more open, the world will be just a little bit better. And I'm really grateful to the people that have helped me on my journey and have believed in me and encouraged me and allowed me to mourn my loss of innocence and not judge me for it. And I'm just grateful to be alive. And when I step on the stage in a month, it doesn't matter to me if I'm first or last, because for me, it's a win. Because I'll be alive to be there. And for the first time in my life, I feel like if my life was to end tomorrow, I would be missing out. And I want to see what life has to hold. And that's a feeling that's indescribable. It's magical. And I just hope that everyone can feel that way someday. And I'm willing to be your friend if you don't have a friend, if you don't have someone that understands, just talk to me. Come lift with me at the gym. I'm there all the time. Anyway, thanks for taking the time to watch this. I'm sorry it was so long. I love you though. Bye.